I stand before you today not just for myself, but for my brothers, Ethan Nordine, Joseph Biggs, Zachary Reel, and Dominic Pizzola. For 4 years, we were persecuted, paraded across the country like trophies, confined in concrete coffins, and subjected to medieval torture devices. The Biden administration sought to crush us, to silence us, to strip us of our God-given rights for the rest of our lives. They knew we were innocent of their baseless charges, yet their hatred for President Trump and his supporters fueled their weaponization of the justice system against us. It began as a United States versus us. For 4 years, we fought to defend our innocence against a relentless assault on our constitutional rights. Today, we defend no more. Today, we go on the offense. This is Enrique Tarrio, Ethan Nordine, Joseph Biggs, Zachary Reel, and Dominic Pizzola versus the United States government. Specifically, the Biden administration and its ruthless campaign to rob us of our liberties and terrorize our families. We will not stand idly by while our rights are trampled. On November 5th, 2024, the American people removed the boot of tyranny from our necks by electing a president who upholds the rule of law and Constitution. President Trump kept his promise, releasing us on day one, ending our time as hostages of a lawless regime. He appointed Pam Bondi as the Attorney General to restore faith in our justice system. Today, we call on her to honor her commitment to the American people, to right the wrongs of her predecessor, and to hold accountable those who violated our rights. We trust President Trump's judgment. He doesn't make mistakes. In Butler, Pennsylvania, when tyranny tried to silence him, President Trump's words rang out: fight, fight, fight. Today, we heed his call through this lawsuit. We shall fight fiercely, unflinchingly, and without quarter, until justice is done, until the scales are balanced, and until the wrongs against us are righted. To the media, you guys, you were not mere bystanders in our persecution. You were complicit, fanning the flames of falsehood that fueled our torment. We will not tolerate further misrepresentation or distortion of our cause. Any outlet that spreads lies and defamation narratives about this lawsuit will face swift and unrelenting legal consequences. And let this be clear, this lawsuit is but the first salvo. We are coming for you and for the financial and media institutions that enabled this injustice. Your reckoning awaits. We are no longer on the defense. We are the storm. And we shall sweep aside all who obstruct our path to justice. Thank you. We will not back down. The fight begins now. And some words from our attorney.
Just to briefly address you, one of the main reasons that I took this case was because the way this legal system has been used by the Biden administration is a shame to our forefathers and the legal system that they got from England, the common law system, where it is designed around people getting fair trials quickly, not being punished before they're convicted, the government not being allowed to invent or alter evidence and face no consequences, fair and impartial trials. These things are the bedrock of our legal system, and the 4 years under President Biden almost certainly critically, if not mortally wounded the legitimacy of the American legal system. What I saw happen to the J6 people, and in particular to my clients, indicates to me that there's a lot of muck that needs to be raked out of the stables of the Department of Justice. And I hope that this lawsuit is the first step to bringing back an equal application of the law to all American citizens. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your time and attention. And if you have any questions for me, I'd be happy to answer them.
I have a question for Enrique. Enrique, were you frustrated that the mainstream media is getting the back of illegal aliens due process when they didn't get your back when you were politically persecuted and in jail for 4 years pre-trial?
We've seen Democratic senators bend over backwards and fly to other countries for criminal gangs and terrorists, and they did not even flinch when they sentenced me to 22 years and my brothers to 18, 17, 15, and 10 years, and across the spectrum of other J6ers. So to them, they're playing a political game. There was hostages in this country. It's not about any other country today, and that's why this lawsuit is so important to bring back law and order into our system.
Thank you.
What are you seeking? Money damages or key TAM action or what?
Well, we brought Bivens action and malicious prosecution accounts. Depending on how things play out, I might bring state law malicious prosecution counts and amend the complaint. I don't know yet. It's going to matter what information comes out and what we get as we move along with litigation, and how cooperative the United States government is going to be with our suit. We are seeking compensatory damages because the 4 years that these people spent wrongly imprisoned not only destroyed businesses, hurt families, and caused them to live below the poverty line. They caused medical problems. Two of my clients were not properly taken care of while in prison. They weren't given the proper medication. They weren't properly diagnosed, and as a result, they have developed long-term and potentially lifelong medical conditions that obviously are going to need to be compensed by the government because they're the ones who caused it. There are the loss of federal benefits. We have a veteran among our plaintiffs who fought for our country and deserves deserves his veterans benefits and his help with his medical conditions that he undertook when he was overseas, when he got them overseas. So we're asking for compensatory damages, but more importantly, we're asking for punitive damages. Punitive damages are designed to be based on hurting the person who did the wrong, not to specifically recompense the damage done to the plaintiff. And the reason why it's important to do that is because you have to wrap wrongdoers on the knuckles. They have to feel it. And we asked for $100 million in punitive damages against the federal government because I want them to feel it. We want them to feel it because this sort of thing cannot continue.
Now you say, do you have any specific named defendants within the government, specifically any legislative actors that had a role in the weaponization against your client and others, such as the Speaker of the House, such as the General Counsel of the U.S. Capitol Police leadership? Yesterday, it was just announced that a new Capitol Police chief has been selected. And are you going to be going after that institution as well as any of the others, such as the executive branches, DOJ, and the courts?
So we're going after. Well, I don't know that we can go after the courts, but this suit does include FBI agents in the Department of Justice and the prosecutors who are among the does 1 through X, I through X, that haven't been identified because I don't know everyone who was involved in what happened yet. That's why we need to do discovery. But in terms of bringing in action against the legislator, that's a difficult question because of specific constitutional protections that legislators and legislatures have. In a lot of ways, they're unaccountable, and there's not a lot I can do in any suit against them. I'm open to trying to develop a legal theory that might let us do that, but right now, no. And I'm a big believer in I'm asking for a certain thing, I want a certain thing, we're going a certain direction. I'm only going to hit the targets that are in my direct line of sight. So if I could bring the legislature in, but then what if that causes the litigation to go on for another year, right? Because I have to now deal with all these legislature issues. I'd much rather just stick to the focus. The DOJ and the FBI violated my client's constitutional rights. People involved need to be punished, and my clients need to be recompensed for that injury.
Is this impromptu park closure related to the press conference here? Do we know?
I have no idea.
Okay.
We have no idea. It could have been any number of things.
No.
Yeah.
No, I believe that and this again speculative, but I think the president taking off and some issues had to do with it. That's why we were moved.
Is this separate from the class action suit?
Yes, it is. I'm not aware of the class action suit right now. We're focused on us.
That's separate from
That's separate from us. And another thing that I've said is I hope this suit encourages those J6ers to also take action against the federal government, those people that wronged them, those people that put them in chains, those people that tortured them and made them hostages for the previous 4 years.
You were at Lavon's sentencing hearing this morning. Do you have any comments on what you saw today or what the outcome was?
What I saw today was a corrupt judge. What I saw today was prosecutors that should have been fired on day one. The judge lied while sentencing them and said that she had no idea who I was until I showed up in her courtroom. That's a lie. In 2019, I had run-ins with the judge multiple times. She knew exactly who I was. He was sentenced to 18 months. The government was asking for 48 months, which is a loss from the government, but it's 18 months too long. He also got 18 months of probation. It's 18 months of probation too long. I think as of right now, I hope and I request, because it's at his discretion, the president signs a pardon for Shane Lamont, Lieutenant Shane Lamont, because he was politically persecuted, and it is a J6 case. They didn't go after him until I put him on the witness list.
And in fact, if I may just real quick, included in the complaint is the fact that before he was set to testify in defense of Enrique, 2 unidentified FBI agents came to his home, knocked on his door, asked him about the trial, and told him, "We're investigating you for obstruction of justice," and intimidated him so he felt he could not testify. And even though he withdrew and did not testify, they still decided to prosecute him, even though he bowed to their wishes. And I completely understand why he would do that. I'm not blaming the man. It's a travesty. The FBI should not be rolling witnesses over. It's not the witness's fault, it's the FBI's.
It's witness intimidation and obstruction of justice, and poetically, it's obstructing an official proceeding, which is a court proceeding, which is what we got charged with, the 18 USC 1512, which the Supreme Court overturned for us. But in this case, as it's written, I believe, I'm not a lawyer, but I believe it does fit the crime that we saw from those FBI agents that did, and the members of the DOJ that went and knocked on the door.
Enrique, are you frustrated that the Department of Justice, the Gambandi, and the FBI are still full of people that politically persecuted you when it comes to prosecutors and FBI agents? They're still there.
I trust the president's judgment. I've had my, I like any citizen, I do have my grievances with some of the things that she's done. But I trust her because the president trusts her, and I believe in this case, the DOJ is going to do the right thing, because it is the right thing to do, not just because she was appointed by the president. This is the right thing to do, period. And that's why we're bringing the suit. The suit's not political. This isn't a political thing. We got our lives taken from us, and we basically got handed life sentences. All of us, in this case, got handed life sentences for crimes that we did not commit.
To follow up procedurally, do you have any named defendants? Is it just broadly the DOJ and the FBI?
We've named the United States of America, Special Agent, Federal Bureau of Investigation Special Agent Nicole Miller, who took it upon herself to make it her personal crusade to torture my clients and their families. And she admitted as much on cross-examination, as well as in produced documents that show inter-FBI communications regarding what she was doing and why.
And it's filed in the Middle District of
It's filed in the Middle District of Florida, yeah.
Enrique, how many people that are pardoned are still in prison?
Right now, there is.
Can you know the names?
Dan Wilson.
We have about 4.
Elias
Costiana.
I will post it on my Twitter, but there is a.
Kelly.
Also, I think Stuart's going to come up here and
Why are
talk.
they still in prison?
I can't tell you.
If they're still filed.
They're supposed to be.
Judges.
I think it's activists.
In spite of being pardoned.
I can't speculate, but I'll post it on my page, and I share constantly people that are focused on that information.
Are you thinking about launching a political career, running for office, doing something like that?
Not right now. Right now, my focus is in getting justice. My focus is in this case alone. After that, maybe we could talk about that, but I don't know. And also, putting everything, all the broken pieces, from not just myself, but from my 4 other guys, for all of us together to put those broken pieces and getting our lives back together. And this is the first step in doing so.